this COVID high that we do. Cheers. And the bang is still, anyway, good fun chatting up. Hi, Vikram.
Hello.
Thank you for being on Talkies. It is so lovely to see you
An
after a
absolute
long
pleasure.
time. How have you been?
I've been actually rather good.
Yeah.
Rather good.
Enjoying the Delhi winters? Almost
Unfortunately,
gone.
they seem to be on the wane now.
They're gone. They're gone much earlier than anticipated. This
I
is
know.
like late March.
It was a nice chilly Jan and a slightly warm Feb.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. So you've been the media veteran. You are again the flag bearer of media buying, planning, everything. Direct question: TAM or BAK? Everyone has been talking about BAK, TAM. Do you see any change between the two, or is it like have you moved to better, or still exactly the same issues?
No. I think I would say Bach. Bach has definitely moved on reasonable distance from where TAM was. I think they're doing a pretty good job under the circumstances. Can things further improve? Of course they can.
But the gap of the research constraint of sampling remains, which doesn't seem to have any solution. And it's not blaming BAK or TAM, but the fact is that when you get into a panel, there has to be a finite size. You really can't go sense, unlike digital.
So, which is where we are looking at. Look, you're absolutely right. But the kind of relative errors that we're talking about, look, actually, we are for large channels or for large platforms which have got high ratings and high reach, there's actually the relative errors are quite slow. It's only when you get to the long tail, and that's when the sort of ratings become a little dodgy. And not only that, people take them and cut them up by small geography, like a city within city age group. So when you're going to those levels of granularity, no kind of data can be stable. So at one level, I think it's also got to be responsibility of the person using it as to how they're using it. Like in IRS, the cells don't appear. If you go beyond a certain level, the software doesn't throw up the cells.
Yeah.
Now, for whatever reasons in BARC, the UMI reports allow you to cut to whatever level. The more granular you go, the more unstable it gets.
Yeah.
That said, what we are right now also exploring is whether we can use technologies such as return path and all to augment the size.
Yeah.
So if that can happen, that can.
But the talks with a lot of MSOs made headway with DTH and MSOs in terms of giving access to the. Because the challenge here is you can't have one. There has to be a representation of multiple
No, you're
partners.
absolutely right. It's a start. So we've done some pilots, and at least the pilots. So there was with Tata Sky. We did something, and they shared their data. The Tata Sky data from the BARC was put to that, and then we tried to read the two datas and see whether we can actually augment it. There was some kind of issues that we have to sort of overcome, but it definitely seemed from a proof of concept standpoint things that could progress. But you're absolutely right. It requires more industry level participation.
Yeah.
And and for that we will require all the major sort of voices and forces in the industry to rally around this.
Yeah. So what's your view on digital measurement? Again, one digital in its true sense should ideally be census. But the fact is if you are measuring a device, again we face the same constraint of a panel. So we are now getting into measuring some 80,000 homes, which will eventually move to 1 million in the next 1 year, on tracking their digital consumption. Digital consumption in terms of what platform is being consumed, within the platform, what show is being consumed, and for linear, what channel is being consumed in real time. Do you see that as a game changer for the industry with real time data?
No, we definitely need audience measurement in digital, no question about it. Currently, we are getting it piecemeal, not at an industry level, and we are trying to piece it together at agencies. You're doing some stuff yourself. Now, my outlook on this is as follows. As we know that in digital, look, in TV, you buy a spot on a piece of content and the audience is a crew. So content and the GRPs or ad ratings is interlinked. In the case of digital, you're actually going after audiences quite agnostic of the content in which is being placed currently.
Right.
Now, globally also the kind of systems that are done to measure, and you can do census measurement. There is something called audience measurement of advertising. So, and then there's another content measurement, and the two are independent currently. If you're asking me for my own personal sort of preference, I would like to get both audience measurement for my ad and in the content in which they're viewing it. I would like that.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm not getting both at an industry level. I'm getting audience measurement through whatever I'm doing with individual YouTubes, Hotstars, Z5s, etc. I'm getting the data from them and I'm doing something. ComScore is attempting to do something like that. So we're also looking at their data and trying to build off that. But if we move to an industry sort of standard on audience measurement, would I welcome that? Of course, wholeheartedly. And here again, the way I'm seeing it is through a combination of tags and SDKs that they will be covering large amounts of sensors.
Yes.
But that said, that is household, or there'll be look at
A connected TV.
when it comes to connected TV, it is still household level to some extent. Whoever's
Or a mobile could be
and
individual.
mobile is individual, but you still need ascription. And worldwide, in fact, even in today's session that we were in, both of us were in today morning, people are moving from we are moving to predictive kind of modeling in the future. So as we are getting away from a very definitive thing of saying that, for example, if the equivalent of in custom audiences in Facebook,
Yeah.
I know exactly who's consumed a certain particular product, and then I'm targeting them. So it's very specific. But then there's also something called lookalike, where you're trying to use other markers to say chances are you're reading these kind of people in a predictive manner.
Yes.
So I think as the cookie deprecates and privacy laws become more and more stringent, there will be a move even worldwide in audience measurement to move to this prescriptive AI ML modeling led kind of virtual IDs that people coming out with. So if you have to talk to the global guys, the Cantars and the Nielsen's of this world, that's the way the entire world seems to be moving to. This virtual ID system, which is not prescriptive. So you can't say uniquely you're capturing 7 billion people on this planet, but you are capturing maybe 200 billion markers through which you're making audiences and using them.
Yeah.
So I think that seems to be the direction in which audience measurement at an individual level ascription is moving. And I think India will also move in that direction.
Yeah.
You'll get spooked because now we have the capability of targeting you precisely.
Yeah.
And beyond a point, you will get sometimes it's relevant, but 90% of the times you get spooked. Why are they?
It does get spooky because you talk about travel plans. I've had the same experience chatting of a trip to Turkey, and you're bombarded with ads without even approaching anyone. Exactly. It's the phone hearing exactly what you're doing.
So some of that is invasive. So I think this predictive kind of modeling, I think that's the way to probably go about it.
Yeah. So one more thing, just to understand, if you have a connected TV with 5 households, 5 members in the home, and each has a unique mobile phone, and you're tagging all the 6, the one connected TV and the 5 mobile phones, so the behavior of the mobile could be applied on connected consumption.
It should
to audience to the segmented on that.
It should typically even in I think the advanced audience measurement systems, whatever streaming box or whatever be your device on which you're reading the data from, there is also a need to augment that with a panel for all of this.
Yeah.
So right now it is panel doing everything. Tomorrow it can be that the census level data is giving you the full impressions augmented by the panel which is giving
and you marry the two to come out with you augment the panel to come out with the data.
Yep.
So is it realistic? A lot of broadcasters are now against the CPM model, because at the CPM you're operating at $200, competing with social media at almost 50-60 rupees on as a CPM from an advertising budget. So would effective rates, what Jio is trying to do now with the IPL at about 6 lakhs an effective rate, do you think the future is effective rates or CPM for TV on digital?
In the word CPM, not that I'm against effective rates. I've always been a flag bearer for CPMs. I'm talking about 2008. I did some industry evangelizing, and it's obviously having me very successful because 15 years later, we still seem to be talking in different currencies on TV and digital, and I don't know why. As far as or consumer is concerned,
they should see one currency for everything.
Seamlessly watching content and ads on one device versus another device,
or even medium.
Or medium, exactly. Now, according to me, the way TV planning from first principles has evolved has been actually quite sensible.
Yeah.
So if you have to look at it, we take what? We buy a spot which has got certain ratings. That ratings over a plan gives you reach GRPs, which in turn you decompose into reach and frequency. And the reach and frequency is also given as I'm reaching so many % of the people once, twice, thrice, 3 times, 4 times, so on. That's effective frequency. Now, this is the way, and this all is happening at a certain cost per rating point or cost per thousand, which to my mind are the same things.
Yeah.
It's only that people have got conditioned into thinking cost per rating point, but if you convert that into whatever the size of the audience or TG is, you convert that into CPMs, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So according to me, I've been doing it for a long time. Any media planner comes to me, this is a CPRP, I ask him what's a CPM for a TG. So I don't have this problem that others do, but having said that, I know what you're talking about. If I go to 9 out of 10 clients and they say my CPRP is 50,000, and then they'll say, okay, how is that in terms of CPM?
No calculation. There's no correlation.
They won't even know where to start. and I find that silly because it's a 2-minute back of the envelope calculation.
Concurrent viewership on digital divided by the universe.
No, I'm not even getting it. I'll come to concurrency in a moment. I'm just saying CPRP. If you've got a 50,000 CPRP, if your TG base has got, say, whatever is got 100 million people, that means 1 million is one rating point.
Yeah.
So 50,000 for reaching 1 million means, so you divide 50,000 by 1,000 is 50 rupees CPM.
Yeah.
So you're reaching 50 rupees to reach 1,000 people in your TG. As simple as that. Now against that, you say, okay, fine, I might be reaching 200. It might be costing me 200 to reach on digital. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. But the point out here is, you'll find, at least, and that's, I don't know, you saw Sam's presentation today, we realize that anywhere where the TG size is less than 40 million, actually digital works out as efficient or more efficient than TV. So for very tight TGs, if you're going only to metros, or if you're going to a very tight youth TG or going to very upmarket male TG, you'll quite often find digital CPMs are actually cheaper than
So I just there's a little disconnect here on equating CPRPs to CPM, the example that you gave, that does not factor the time spent, right? Because
So
you're looking at an exposure.
Okay, then it comes down to equivalence. So if I take CPRP or CPM in TV is on a 10-second, that's the convention. So I'm saying 50,000.
CPRP is a 10 seconds, CPMs are currently at 3
even
seconds.
on TV, look, see, I've just cost per rating point is CPRP. CPM is cost
equated
per
to 10 seconds.
CPM is cost per 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 in whatever Roman is milli.
Mil.
So it's cost per 1,000. Now it's cost per 1,000 impressions. Now in TV, the cost, the metric has been 10-second is the kind of normalized impression that we are taking.
Right.
Your ad might be average ACD might be 20-second, but our CPRPs
calculating a 10-second threshold
at a 10-second. So it's a 10-second impression. Now in contrast, if you take
CPM,
video, you just have to first you got to come back and say, if you want to now open up the box a little bit, in TV there's also the element of a completed view, because if, for example, in cricket you have a 20-second ad,
by TV
and
you mean
18
linear,
second,
by TV you mean linear.
In linear TV, for example, on cricket, if I in between overs I've got a 20-second spot, after the 18-second you have to go back to live, so it gets cut. Then conventionally we've never paid for that ad.
Yeah,
it's you air the full 20 seconds again. In digital, I think we need to evolve to similar norms on completed view. Now, there are people, when I talk to digital people, they're trying to change the language out there and say we shouldn't look at completed view. Now, I think that to some kind will probably do a disservice. At one level, I think let's have a common playing field and
a common threshold of consumption.
You talk about concurrency. TVR is equal to concurrency. So if I'm getting, say, IPL, let's take the same 100 million people ka TG, 4 rating. That means 4 million people are watching it. Now, even last year on Hotstar, which did not have a free feed, and the subscription feed on that was quite low, because actually we found that they were getting between 3.5 to 4 million concurrents. Now this time I expect with the Geo Cinema thing, the concurrency will actually be pretty high. So I won't be surprised. Look, in concurrency, we are right now again looking at full views. If you have to further break it up into TG, then look do same TG to TG.
Yeah,
the capability is there. I'm pretty confident this year concurrency even on a TG will be similar in both digital and TV.
I couldn't agree more on that. My point is that CPM of hypothetical example, a CPM of 50 rupees that you spoke of is again evaluated on a 3-second exposure. Now, if the same CPM was to extend to 9 or 10 seconds, it will be directly equivalent to 3x, right? So 50 becomes 150 rupees. Yeah. It's as simple as that. And with that 10-second exposure on CPRP or CPM, you have a benchmark on the industry.
Yes. So
and I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's the equivalence. Now, to my mind, at least from where I'm coming, by and large, if I've seen an ad, according to me, screen size should not make a size difference on effectiveness of the ad.
Yeah.
So if I mean, otherwise what makes sense, I think, is what percent of the screen is covered by your ad. So if there are 10 ads playing on one screen then it's huge clutter. Then exactly, it's gone for toss. Versus I'm the only ad being played on TV.
Which happens more in the case of a mobile phone. Connected TV is still much less cluttered. Connected is mostly clean.
Absolutely. The other is the pixels being covered. If all my full ad is not being done below the fold, above the fold, that of course has a factor. But like to like, if my ad is being visible, according to
I think one of the best mediums which Salil talks about from TV today is the L bands, because the L bands go as part of the content. So irrespective of which feed you go, if you have an L band, you are actually targeting the entire feed, which is a static ad played on a video, that overlays, graphic overlays.
Yeah.
I think there are strong mediums that that work for advertisers. Where do you see the role of tech in your business, as in managing, planning, buying in the next 3, 4, 5 years? Is it threatening, or is it supportive? Is it complementary?
No, it's very supportive. Yeah, it's a catalyst for growth. So we've already embraced it wholeheartedly. So couple of things. One is, I think, this entire through the journey planning. So we are, the entire history has been, the startup economy started performance marketing. So, but they would do performance marketing and they didn't do too much of, say, the entire top of the funnel brand marketing.
Yeah.
On the other, the FMCGs were only on TV, and then they slowly got onto digital as well, and they started getting into brand marketing, and also started getting a little bit into D2C marketplaces and some of the performance things. What we found is some of the most savvy marketers suddenly started saying, first, let's integrate both digital and traditional into one. That is the first step. And then also the entire marketing funnel into one. So again, like for example, for us in McDonald's, in McDonald's South and West, we're doing the entire thing. The advantage of this is, while the diagnostics are coming in, the entire on performance at bottom of the funnel, I'm also able to use Google's tools like ADH to see what's happening on the top of the funnel, on the bottom of the funnel.
Right.
So I've just done a normal branding campaign.
Yeah.
But even through that, I'm being able to get diagnostics of at how many frequency does a per sale happen.
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
So now these are the ways in which tech can be used. Similarly, the entire ability of using customized marketing, the entire personalized delivery, all of that are using hyper local.
Yeah.
So many, I mean, our ability, like for example, in B2B, mention of that, like Pidlite, if they really want to reach out to contractors or carpenters and things like that, I mean, if you get data from Truecaller, you can actually do some very relevant targeting.
Yeah, but tech is not replacing humans. Like, to be fair about it, it's supportive to an extent. I don't know if you read this recent article. I think it was yesterday or day before, on Boeing automating. So the robotics that are taking over, right? So Boeing actually has got a 737-900 series. I've been using this example, which can the robo actually flies the plane, right? So the question to you: would you want to be on that plane? You
certainly
won't.
not.
Certainly
I
not.
heard you mention it today,
So,
but certainly not.
Not. So I think that's the fact, is you don't put your life behind technology.
Yeah.
You would bet a lot of businesses, but you won't bet your life on technology.
but-
You'll bet your life on a human.
Yes. But the reality also is that we are, to some extent, betting our lives on driverless cars, where Bay Area now they're actually doing it, and people are going in those.
Yeah, I think
But,
that again, with a speed of 40, 50 miles per hour in a more controlled environment, is still somewhere in the psychology of things, you're still safe. But at 30,000 feet in the air, in the midst of nowhere,
in the psychology of things, on the road, there's a chance. What's the probability of a accident? 1 in 250. What's the probability on the air?
that is logic.
1 in 1 million or whatever.
That is logic.
So yeah, psychology at play. But yes, but I would agree. I wouldn't go on a pilotless plane. No way.
Absolutely. I think it was fantastic. Good chatting up.
Always wonderful.
We had this COVID high that we do. Cheers. And the bang is still, anyway, good fun chatting up. Thank you.